abusuan incha on ensa so mo akwa ba mre channel so abusuan for hada so ye be media GH be se wase enen de dikon ni channel so a ye be se wase be subscribe dia my YouTube channel bo notification bell so for podcast updates abusuan election rerun aya de Tamale High Court e the ruling na de by ni na efa eye honorable Matthew Yindam abusuan election rerun and expect say by election be koso ewo eye Kpandai no abusuan ma ne boni echemu echese ya suspend eye elections no na echese Honorable Matthew Yindam echese suspend eye elections no abusuan ma ne boni echemu echese papai anka oye twahwe yes anka oye twahwe one twahwe na abusuan edane nenusuo ede entia because ya suspend eye election no still papai enye MP onye MP till say echese court be san ade aba say election no ebekoso na till say court ebeba abontin biem ede nsem ede abeto dwane papai enye MP biem ni seat no ya declare vacant ti papai ni suo a type papai ya enya nsem koto na buso we dey ma meka sam apese yeko kokoti ensem no mu enkyere mu yie yes because election no suspending ya suspend yen cancel it si a cancel it I don't know but si a suspending no kwa de abusu aba ne bone echemu echese papai still onye MP biem na see amane body chemu chese wo de wani echiremu ewo ye the MPP headquarters a chese areho na se nisuo na abusu ekoso wa enya nsem koto abusu yenko ni nsem no mu ankasa enchiremu hada so e be media GH but modi subscribe my YouTube channel notification bell no so for more podcast updates intend your course emra sesia yedas
they have suspended it and that means they've only suspended the defeat of MPP. It's been suspended. After the defeat they will still get it. On the 13th, yes, if they manage to serve us the 7 days they have given them, if they manage to serve us, we will come back. We will come and face them in court. We don't fear them. We brought them to court. Hey, our lawyers are ready. As we speak now, a team of lawyers are studying the outcome and they are putting people together. And you hear from us officially. Yes, we are ready. We are law-abiding people in this country. And the most law-abiding political party is the NDC. And then so we respect whatever comes out from the Supreme Court. And so we will hold our horses, but the campaign will continue. The Supreme Court has not access not to stop campaigning. They only suspend the elections. That means they are aware of the rerun. The orders has duly been complied by the second respondent, which is the Electoral Commission, and then third respondent, which is the Clerk of Parliament.
Right.
So as we speak now, Yindam is not an MP. He's a former MP. The seat is still vacant. The only thing is that they've asked that it should be suspended for now. And so let the general public be aware that the election is just being suspended. It has not been cancelled. 13th is around the corner. They've given them 1 week. Let's see how we go about it. We are ready, and we are going to continue our campaign. It will even give us ample time to campaign more so that we can increase the wide margin that we want to give them in the rerun. And so we'll get enough time to do our campaigning and organize ourselves very well.
Right. Rashid Tanko Computer, thank you very much. That's the Deputy Director of Research and IT with the governing NDC. And then, of course, we will be getting more thoughts about this from a wide range of experts. Earlier, we heard from Justice Abdullahi, who is a law lecturer as well, sharing his opinion. And right now, let's bring in Inusa Fuseni, another private legal practitioner, for more on this. Glad you could join us this afternoon. This is a ruling that your colleague lawyer, Justice Abdullahi, said was surprising. Do you share in his opinion? Were you surprised?
I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised because I had said earlier on your network that it appeared to me that there were only two processes that could stop the rerun of the Kpandai election. That is arresting the letter written by the clerk to Parliament to the Electoral Commission, informing them of the occurrence of the vacancy, or the stay of execution of the Court of Appeal of the High Court Tamale on the judgment of the High Court. Now, the matter at the Supreme Court, which is a necessary application to quash the decision or judgment of the High Court Tamale, centers on one of two gazette notifications that was issued by the Electoral Commission, consequent upon the holding of the 2024 election. Now, so depending on where you stand, and depending on the decision of the High Court, the action of the Kpandai Mp can fall or be sustained just on the basis of deciding whether or not the petition that the Gazette notification that was issued on the 24th December holds sway, or that notification that was issued on the 6th of January holds sway. So that is left to the Supreme Court to determine. And if the Supreme Court determines that they are going by the Gazette notification of the 24th of December, the action will fail totally, because it doesn't, I mean, matters of that nature do not concern themselves with the merits of the case. They are statutory limitations. And if the statute says that you are out of time, you are out of time. And that's it. It doesn't matter if your case is solid, but if you are out of time, you are out of time. Now, if the Supreme Court comes to the conclusion that, well, the second notification, Gazette notification that was issued on the 6th of January is the one to go by, then they will be well within time. And the only opportunity that they will have to challenge the decision of the High Court Tamale will be to appeal the decision of the court and the Court of Appeal.
So does this ruling change the status of Matthew Nyindam anyway?
Yes. Yes. So I'm sure they would have. I've not gotten the judgment yet.
Okay.
If they are saying they should suspend, they might issue consequential orders as well. But I have not. I mean, we're all flying with or running with the headlines. It says that the Supreme Court suspends the rerun. If the Supreme Court suspends the rerun, they will issue other orders, and so we'll have to wait to see those orders.
Inusaf Hussaini, thank you very much. That's a lawyer and former MP as well. And of course, you have been following this breaking news all along. Let's now do some analysis on this. Let's understand the voting pattern. Who has won what in what year in the last few years in the Kpandai constituency? And head of research here at Joy News, Isaac Ofeje, is joining me in studio to break down really the last previous parliamentary elections. Which party has carried the day? Isaac, tell us.
Well, so Kpandai is a very interesting seat, and even before we even go into that, analysis of who has won what within the last, let's say about 6 or 7 elections. Remember that there are 2 cases before the Supreme Court, and in fact, the reason why this is important is that, and the reason why the Supreme Court is being drawn into this is because of the matter of, jurisdiction, where the NPP side believes that Kpandai, in terms of gazetting of that election, was had, I think days after the main election was declared on the 7th of December. And that if you look at the date that the NDC filed that case in court versus the agreed or the allowed period of 21 days, that's supposed to be about 32 days, which falls outside of the bracket that has been outlined in law. And so as a result of that, the court should go ahead and say that there was no jurisdiction. And in fact, because you have gone ahead or because you've gone outside of that 21 days, you can't even sit on the case to decide. There was another also issue about, and in fact, we have been saying that this particular Kpandai ruling is a particular or is an interesting situation of statistical sampling in law, where the judge actually used 41 polling station anomalies to say that, well, if I look at the magnitude of the errors in 41, I can confidently say that you should go ahead and rerun all 152. And we should also understand that the court, when it ruled on 24th November 2025, told the EC that they should go ahead to rerun that election within 30 days. And that 30-day window, we know, is supposed to end somewhere around 24th or 28th, depending on how you want to calculate it. And so that window that the High Court of Tamale gave in that ruling is ending around that time, 30 days. And you know that the EC decided to do the election on the 30th of this month. And we understand that the suspension has been done. It simply means that they're now going to sit on the substantive issue to either decide whether Kpandai should be rerun or whatever decision should stay the same. But in fact, we need to analyze what really happened in Kpandai in terms of the legal roller coaster,
right,
and all of that. Let's go back and get our viewers that trajectory. So, in fact, the 7th of December 2024, this was a date that Matthew Nyindam was actually declared winner of Kpandai. And by 25th January 2025, the NDC candidate filed a petition against the result. And if you look at between January 7th and December 7th and January 25th, it's about 32 days, and that is what the NPP is saying, that if you look at this time frame, and if you look at the date that it was gazetted, which was somewhere around, I think, 8 or so, that would simply means that there is no jurisdiction here. You are outside of that bracket.
So that means that their argument is that they had 21 days from election day to file this petition, and they filed it outside the 21 days.
Outside the 21 days, which they believe is 32 days after the Gazette was actually done, which means that you are outside of that, grace period of lifeline. And we understand that by 24th of November 2025, that was when the High Court, Tamale High Court ruling came. And in fact, 1st December, Nyindam petitioned the Supreme Court against the High Court's, petition. And we also understand that if you look at the other roller coaster, in fact, we looked at the full, judgment that was put out by the High Court, and we saw more than 20 filing of, affidavit, supplementary affidavit, even before the substantive case was heard before the court decided to go ahead to do the petition. So this has been a legal roller coaster where a lot has actually happened in court, and behind the scenes, there were a lot happening in court, each party's filing affidavits and counter affidavits and supplementary affidavits and all of that. But we understand that this actually came to a halt when the court decided on that matter. But in fact, you are interested in the trend. So let's look at that aspect of this whole issue and to see Kpandai, who is who, and in fact, who actually rules Kpandai in terms of... We'll come back to the irregularities, right?
Isaac, sorry to cut you, but before we do that, though, we understand that we have Roxanne Nelson Dafiama, the Majority Chief Whip in Parliament, on standby right now to speak to us. We'll continue, of course, with these analysis, but let's go right now to the House of Legislature and connect with my colleague James Afeje, who is on standby with the Majority Chief Whip, Roxanne Nelson Dafiama. What can you bring to us, James?
Well, Ken, I don't know if you can hear me.
I can.
Not with the majority leader as we speak, but we expect that the majority side as well as the minority sides to convene today at 12 noon, but there's been some level of delay, but we're expecting that to happen. That declaration from Parliament has been sweeping through, from the court has been sweeping through Parliament as well. And most people here, the discussion has been whether or not the MP for Kpandai is still a legitimate member of the House. And so Speaker Alban Bagbin, in his own style, as we have known over the years, we are expecting that he would, again, as he always does, deliver some level of ruling either today or tomorrow on this particular matter, to make known officially the status of the Honorable Matthew Nyindam in Parliament. But as far as today is concerned, we are expecting that both sides of the House should make some statement on what has just transpired in court, and so we're looking forward to that. The House
on the final determination of the certiorari application before it, the rerun notice given by Electoral Commission in respect of Kpandai parliamentary elections be suspended. It does not affect Nyindam's position regarding his return to the House. He is not an MP. Supreme Court has not annulled or overturned the decision of the High Court.
Okay.
So, with all due respect to journalists, when you are communicating this matter, they should be careful not to throw in any confusion. I just heard James Abedi saying, with this matter, what becomes the position of Honorable Nyindam is no longer an MP. And that communication has been given to the Electoral Commission. They've carried they subsequently issued or consequently issued the rerun notice. What the Supreme Court simply has done is that what is slated for the 30th of December for the elections to be held is suspended. A suspension is not coterminous or synonymous with annulment. So nobody should suggest that Nindam will be recalled to this house. It won't happen. He will remain a persona non grata until this matter is finally determined on its merit, whether the appeal or the certiorari. And so that is how this matter should be communicated or ought to be communicated. Nobody should throw in any mischievous line. It is rerun that is suspended. It is not the rerun order that has been annulled or the order calling for a rerun that has been overturned. Nothing has been overturned. Nothing has been annulled. It's only a suspension. A suspension means an interim freeze.
Right. The Supreme Court, of course, is going to hear this case again on the 13th of January 2026. The NDC, I want to believe, is confident that it will rule in your favor.
Yes, we have not been served. As you may have heard, we were not served. It was an ex parte application. The substantive certiorari application, we have not been served because our client, my colleague, has been busy up north. I don't know how